Okay, welcome everyone. Good to have you here. A new day, a new week, many opportunities, lots of news. It's gonna be very, very interesting, no? Very, very interesting. Okay, welcome everyone. So, in this live stream, we're gonna cover Elliott waves, talk about the probabilities of the different scenarios, mainly on the 1 hour time frame. Have a look at the news here, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, which can definitely increase the volatility this week. So make sure that whatever you do, you trade safe. You don't want to be on the wrong side of crazy wicks, crazy price action. So beware. I also see a green name here. I'm at TA, maybe technical analysis. Maybe that's what TA stands for. Welcome to the Diamond team, man. Welcome to the crew. Good to have you here in Diamond. And please make sure you fill in the following. Wait, is it already shared, the form? No. So please make sure you fill in this form, Imeta, and then we will get you sorted. Jeroen will undoubtedly see it and then give you access everywhere. But we are welcome. Welcome to the squad, man. Good time. So make sure you fill in the form and we will get you sorted. Other than that, also, of course, welcome everyone. Justin Chu, how you doing from the other side of the world? It's been a while, no? Been a while. Good to have you here. Bogdan, what's up? Rodney, so early. I went to do my morning peep and go back to bed. Figured better check, and Koens is alive. He is. Good morning, 5:50 a.m. Yeah, welcome. Good to have you here so early in the morning. And let's see if the analysis is interesting enough for you to not fall back asleep. Lauri, welcome. Bogdan, third weekend day for you. Enjoy the freedom that you have today. Eva, welcome. Thunderin, Edgaras, we don't talk politics here on stream. Ricky, welcome. How's your Monday going? So far, so good. So my brother is still here, as well as his girlfriend. And they went into the city center doing some shopping. Gives me the opportunity to go live because my wife, she wanted to do a little bit of work and take it easy this morning. And then myself, as they were saying, like, we just want to get some stuff that we saw a few days ago. And they were like, yeah, you can do a live stream. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So here we are. And then the rest of the day, I'll be with my brother. They fly back home tonight. So we'll be together for most of the day. And don't expect any other update today. Potentially, though, tonight is still an opportunity at least. Because they have to be at the airport at like 7-ish, but we'll see. Tomorrow we're back to normal. Christian, welcome. Flotty, how you doing? Good morning. Bonjour, monsieur. Hope you had a nice weekend with your family. Yeah, we had a good weekend. Good weekend yesterday, the half marathon as well. So yeah, had a good sportive weekend, I'd say. Lots of walking as well with my brother, showing him what's up here in Nice and shopping centers and the promenade and all that good stuff. Robot, how you doing? Adrian, Slipstrom, welcome. It's done. Cool. Thanks. I'm Mathieu and we'll get you sorted. Mark, welcome. Welcome. Good to have you here, man. Goedemorgen. Von Ian Ray Tabada, good morning. Oh, good afternoon, maybe in your case. Sorry there. MT, Sam. Are you former League of Legends pro? No, Trackmania. If you look for Koens Trackmania, you'll find lots of different videos and interviews and all that good stuff online. So no, in League of Legends, I never went past the level 30 practice matches. It's just not. I really enjoy watching League of. So some games, yeah, I guess everyone has them. You like watching them, but not necessarily playing. I love racing games and very high-paced games, and I love to watch League. I've been a host of a League show in the Netherlands for 4 years as well. I really enjoy watching Worlds, but I never really got into playing it too much. I played a bit, but never really got into it, let's say. Gabriel, as bearish as always, good to have you here. Mark Spearpine had a little bit of I can feel my legs, but I guess muscle aches, they're good. Yeah, I mean, I can walk as normal. So, yeah, no problem there. Could be an epic week of price action. Yes. John Button, welcome. Good to have you here. Paramez, good morning. QZ World, welcome, man. Welcome. Good to have you here as well. One of the newest members. Yeah, if people sign up, by the way, right, if you sign up just like QZ through Patreon, then you won't get the green name and the badge on YouTube. Of course, because that's YouTube specific, it's done in the YouTube system. So we cannot give people a green name. It just happens through YouTube. So, but welcome everyone. Okay, so in today's live stream, what we're gonna do is look at the 1 hour time frame. Previously, with the analysis that we have done, price here was moving to the upside, and we had mainly two levels really to keep an eye on. One was the 618 over here, and one was the 618 pulled from this low to the high. And I'll explain this. I will do a little short repeat of how the probabilities were impacted by hitting these. And then we'll take it from there. And of course, I already have done the analysis. I got the folders here. And we'll observe price action a bit, then get into chatting and a Q&A. So good stuff. Yebamalenasam Yubinson. Did you watch League of Legends Worlds last week? I have not, I gotta be honest. First of all, just came back from South Africa, and now my brother was coming as well, and I actually mainly focused on just getting work done. Because when you're gone on holiday and you come back, you always got a shitload to do, right? And the time that I did have, like my spare time that I did have, I spent with my wife, so didn't really get into any live streams and all that stuff. So I haven't unfortunately. There's a gap 67, 68. Yeah, a bit of support there as well. The weekly point of control, correct. Grinding excellence, welcome. Okay, let's start. Let's get started. So first of all, I actually want to start with just the levels. So what you see on the chart at the moment are all the horizontal levels close to price action, right? And then we do have a couple down here. Now these levels have not yet been touched. Now mind you, you could see here, hey wait, this weekly is touched, but it's not, because this weekly comes on the chart after the week has ended, and the week ended here. So this price action still belongs to the previous week, and therefore the weekly is not yet touched, as you can also see over here. So this week over here, price did not yet touch the weekly. So just so you know. But these are the main support resistance areas that I have to the up as well as the downside. And what's interesting is that to the downside, we have a weekly naked point of control here that is untouched at 67,350. To the upside, daily naked point of control 69,550. And then there is quite a big gap here, not too much going on, and then we have some stuff at 72. To the downside, daily here 66.5, and below the daily, not so much going on as well, right? And then you're pretty much at 62. Interesting. Now price had a moment of support here at the point of control of this previous range, as you can see over here. I actually do have this in my folder. One second, let me open this. So if I remove this all, then you can see this one here. So point of control acted as support, previous range. It's interesting. I was thinking, like, am I gonna put my box from the point of control all the way down to the daily. And I was like, no, I'm going to have the point of control as a separate level on my chart, and then have the point of control below with the weekly naked point of control, range value area low, and the daily. That's what I did. So at least we know there is a point of control there. There's an area of support, of course, which is interesting, important to at least be aware of. Now, with regards to the Elliott wave scenarios locally, the 1 hour chart remains the most interesting chart. And before I actually get into this scenario, let's do a short flashback. So the last live stream, as price was moving here on a Friday, there were 2 levels that I had on the chart, which were important. First one was this 618. And the second one was this 618. What did it mean? Price moving up, touching the 1.618. Decreases the probabilities for an impulse 1 2 1 2 3, and then look for 4 5 4 5. The invalidation for a wave 4 is the 0.618 on the chart, which was touched. So it increases the probabilities. This is a 3-wave structure to the downside, right? Which means that your only bearish scenario becomes a diagonal, and before a diagonal is formed, your probabilities would generally be bullish to take out the high, right? Until you form a diagonal structure. Now, price moves to the upside. We mentioned here, we move to the upside on increasing volume, most common for a wave 3. So what we wanted to see here is if we do look for the highs to be taken, as mentioned, right? Preferably before the weekend, if that's the case. Then you want to see a 1, 2, 3. You still want to see a 4 and a 5 because the highest volume is in the latest move up. So it's the exact same scenario where you pull a 0.618 from this low of 2 to the high, wherever the high is, which then was here. The moment you hit the 618 here, an impulse to the upside is invalidated because your wave 4 hits the 0.618, which is not allowed, right? So therefore the probabilities increase locally to take out the low, right? Local probabilities always have a priority, right? So yeah, okay, we have a 3-wave structure, cool. We hit the 618, cool, right? But we needed another 4 and another 5. Touching the 618 over here increases probabilities to take out this low, because wave 4 is invalidated. Now then we had the very typical, again, Saturday price action, I suppose. Actually, the last 2 Sundays have been quite interesting. Here on Sunday, price moving back down and then a bit of a bounce to the upside. So Sunday has been quite good, but as you can see, in the end, we do come out, we fall out of the Saturday range and then we come back in, which is common, that if price action during the weekend just, does move out of the range, it tends to come back in anyway. So that is what we had with regards to the probabilities, which then now leaves us, of course, with the bearish scenario being the diagonal, right? So because of price moving to the upside here, because of the 3-wave structure to the downside, 618 touched, probabilities higher that this move is a 3-waver to the downside, increases the probabilities for the bearish scenario being a diagonal and not an impulsive structure and not a multi 1-2 as well. Which means this scenario here. Now, in this case though, we are still looking for a wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually another 5 down, which would be nice because we do have the support here, of course, the weekly naked point of control, right? Which is always an interesting level. We just missed out on hitting the weekly naked point of control with the low here, which you can see. Just missed out on actually touching it. But 67.350, that's the level of the weekly naked point of control. It's interesting. And it's one that I do keep an eye on. And then we have the invalidation of the diagonal here. Now this invalidation is taken with a channel. So you take the channel from the low of your 1 to the low of your 3 to the high of your 2. A contracting diagonal is most common, and in a contracting diagonal you're not allowed to hit the upper trend line, and the upper trend line is this red line. So the moment we hit the red line, the probabilities immediately significantly reduce for any diagonal, because a contracting diagonal is then invalidated, And an expanding diagonal is very rare, never preferred, unless everything else fills. Yeah? So interesting to keep an eye on this level. At the moment, the red line here is around 70k. Right, with where price is at the moment, if we would shoot up, it's around 70k, 69.9, 69.8. So that would be your invalidation for this scenario. I have also checked if there's a different way of counting this as a diagonal, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it just looks ridiculous. If this is your 1, 2, and this is 3, 4, and then 5. You know, technically your 3 moves below your 1 here. Your 4 is shorter than your 2. I think your 5 is shorter than your 3. Yeah, but it's not something like. Besides price in Elliott waves, time is important, and the relationship between different waves is also important. And you know, if this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I mean, this section here, you can just see it looks very ugly. So this diagonal from an Elliott wave point of view makes a lot more sense time-wise as well as price-wise, and keep an eye on the invalidation. Right? Now for, of course, the diagonal, you need to take out this low at least once more. And then look for a 3-wave correction and another move down. And this is where opportunities are then created. Bullish scenario is a finished WXY. We then have a zigzag X and another zigzag to the downside. And your clear invalidation is the low. That's your bullish scenario. Now, if we want to be very bullish, right, then this low has to be the low, and we need price to move up. So what we want to see coming off this low is bullish impulsive structures, which means, there we go again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, continuation, or a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then boom, we fly up. You need to see one of these 3. Side note, you can also have an expanding diagonal, but that again is extremely rare, never preferred, unless everything else fails, which basically means invalidations and all that stuff. So you want to see one of these 3 coming off the low, and that would increase the probabilities to then move towards the upside, right? Now, if we look at the local price action here on my chart, removing these. An impulse. For an impulse, we then need to count this as a 1, 2, 3. Wait, what happened with 4, right? Not allowed. 4 overlaps with the price action of a wave 1. That's not what we want to see. You also cannot count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this wave 4 also overlaps with your wave 1. So an impulse doesn't work, which leaves you with a multi 1, 2 or a diagonal. Now a diagonal in this case is expanding. Oh wait, I actually have this, where is it? There we go. So it's an expanding diagonal in this case. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5. Overlap between wave 1 and wave 4, which is at least what you like to see, right? And then you have a correction and you want to see bullish continuation, impulsive continuation, not corrective continuation, right? The only thing we are determining is what are the probabilities for this to be very bullish, right? Doesn't mean you can't take out this high once more. Mind you, we still have an untouched daily naked point of control at 69.5k, which is interesting as resistance. We just missed out on touching it, right? So there's absolutely no problem for price taking out this. Can still be very much a bigger corrective structure, right? And then boom, no problem. We're just trying to determine the probabilities of, is this bullish or bearish coming off the low? What are the probabilities to take this low again? Now, an expanding diagonal, of course, there we go again, very rare, never preferred unless everything else fails, right? You do have overlap at least. Okay, cool. Your wave 5, right, is longer than your wave 1, which is what you want. Yeah, of course, your 3 is longer than your 5, but that is no problem. Makes me think, actually, right? Like in a contract, the new rules of a diagonal, because an expanding diagonal is so rare, it can be confusing. In a contracting diagonal, you can have a longer wave 3 compared to wave 1, and wave 5 has to be shorter than your wave 3. In an expanding diagonal, 1, 3, 5, you want, usually old school, you want 3 longer than 1 and 5 longer than 3. New rules would suggest you can have 3 shorter than 1, and then you want 5 longer than 3. So, but it comes back to the same point too. Even if you want 5 to be longer than 3, then this being a diagonal doesn't even work, besides the fact it's already very low probabilities because it is a fucking expanding diagonal. So yeah, very nice. So anyway, a expanding diagonal and an impulse here do not work nicely, which basically leaves you with a multi 1-2. And in a multi 1-2, you're then looking for 1-2-1-2 continuation, or of course your triple 1-2-1-2, another 1, another 2, and then you continue to the upside, right? Now in a multi 1-2, preferably, each following 1 and 2 is a little bit shorter compared to the previous 1 and 2. It's preferred. It's not an invalidation. It's just something that works nicely with probabilities. And this is your first wave 2. Now you can see that if this is the latest 2, it's longer in time, right? Bigger in size compared to your first wave 2 here. Also the second one, let's have a look. Yeah, the second 2 would also be longer than your first wave 2. So by all means, basically what we're saying here is the move of the low doesn't look great as an impulse to the upside. It counts better as a corrective structure. And then of course, instead of trying to count specifically what type of corrective structure, it actually doesn't even matter. And I don't really care, because my area of interest is below here, and if we do move down here, I'm going to observe the reaction for potential long. If price invalidates a contracting diagonal, I will be observing what else we get, right? So cool. But the probabilities at the moment are not high for this here, this move up, to be an impulsive structure, which automatically lowers the probabilities for a finished WXY, which is a bullish structure. After WXY, you look for straight continuation to the upside. You want price to take out the high at 73.6K, but you need an impulsive structure to the upside, which, as identified, doesn't have great probabilities. So of course it increases the probabilities for a contracting diagonal until proven otherwise, which by all means, at least bare minimum, take out the invalidation. So yeah. Now, from a trading perspective, I was, of course, interested in the shorts, but not down here. We had quite a bigger move towards the downside, and as we are looking basically for a bounce, because in a WXY, of course, you're looking for a bigger bounce. In a diagonal, you look for one more low and then a bounce. I'm a lot more interested in looking for positions that are in line with price moving up instead of moving down. Not involved with the chart at the moment during the weekend, which is basically this whole, well, actually, Saturday, where did we start? Saturday was over here till Sunday, this whole part. I was busy with family, so I was not involved with the chart whatsoever. Didn't even check or open a chart during the weekend, really. So I'm not involved there. I'm not in any longs. I have interest in looking for longs, but I'm not yet part of anything at the moment. Just patiently waiting and for price to give me a little bit more clarity. Okay. Now that being said, we can actually do the same with this arguably this move to the downside. Of course, is this impulsive or is this corrective? Right? Resistance above daily naked point of control not touched. Now, if this would be bullish, then it needs to be corrective to the downside. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be an expanding diagonal. Very rare, never preferred. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We might actually have... It's also expanding now, which is never preferred. Then we need potential, right? Can there be a multi 1-2 here? 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We definitely need price to start falling deeply. Invalidation is taking out the high here. Lowering probabilities happens if we touch the 886, which is sitting at 69K, right? And an impulse cannot be counted because of the amount of overlap here, right? So your multi 1-2 is the most bearish option that you have going on here. If you hit 69K, probabilities decrease. If you take out the high, it's invalidated here, which increases probabilities to at least look for this high here. But by all means, that 15-minute will not change probabilities on the 1 hour until you hit 1 hour invalidations. If we had the invalidation, we'll take it from there, right? So yeah, these are the probabilities. I am much more interested in trying to trade the potential end of a scenario, meaning a 5, and then look for a corrective structure back towards the upside if I see signs of strength and support, instead of trying to trade the potential final move down. The problem with, so this is a bit of a how to trade Elliott waves type of tip, I suppose, is you have the potential of a 3-wave finish structure, right? And you have the potential of course, one more move and a bounce. Now, previously, when price was, of course, ranging up here on the 15, remember when we said price was ranging? Remember when we said somewhere here, probabilities are higher to take out the low? Now, that's interesting, right? That's interesting because you're at the potential beginning of a structure to the downside. Take out the low, observe the move. Move was done on high volume, expect lower prices, right? But now we've had such a decline, as explained, with the potential of a finish structure, right? That now it's a lot more interesting to wait for either a structure to end and signs of strength. And of course, if this is ended, you need an impulsive move up here. But at the moment, the probabilities are higher. This is corrective compared to impulsive. So I'm not interested in trading this just yet. Right? I would need to see invalidations here, no? Now, one thing that is going on a higher time frame, which I do at least see, would be the bullish CVD divergence here. Now, this is, however, and that is what, this is why I keep this in mind, but it is not tradable for me. This is the dotted line. What you see here is a bullish CVD, but this is a second CVD. You see the question mark. It's from this low here to the high, higher low on price, a lower low here on the CVD on blue. The reason why it's not interesting to me, I would need to see more local strength, is because this blue CVD is a second one. The first bullish CVD happened here, higher low in price, right? With this move down here in the middle, higher low in price, lower low on blue, played out as price moved up. Now we come back down again, building CVD divergences with the same low, but now it's a second time with the same pivot. The more often you create a CVD divergence with the same pivot, the lower the probabilities of it playing out. The first CVD divergence is always the best one with a pivot. So therefore, it's not as interesting. Now, of course, if you're in a downtrend, the bearish CVDs are more interesting, right? I probably should do a more in-depth CVD video, but on the 1 hour time frame here, you had this range. This was last week, and then price moves down, downtrend, a 3-wave structure, bearish CVDs here in the range during the weekend as well. Move down. We're still in a downtrend, of course. 15 minutes. From the most recent low to where we are now. Bit of bullish CVD, bit of bearish CVD. Right? So both, not arguably bearish probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view are higher, so bearish CVDs are interesting, but as mentioned, I'm not interested in trading this mess here. Either give me the low, and I'm interested to trade support or invalidate the diagonal, and I'm going to be looking for other opportunities. Not in a hurry, right? So yeah, and that's that. No. Yep. Cool. I see a short question here. First, when did we start the analysis? We started, 1 second, we started somewhere. Here, 11:28, which is 23 minutes ago. 23 minutes ago in the live stream was 13 minutes ago. So we started around 14. There we go. Andrew, how do the probabilities change after a monthly naked point of control hit? That's actually a good point. Because let me open Atas here. So you guys can now see what I do in Atas for the ones that have never seen it. Let me start it 1 second. I never know on what screen it opens. So I want to see if it opens on my main, because I use another email there. So I just want to see if it opens on my main or my secondary screen. Let me have a look here. But I don't think I actually have the monthly naked point of control, my chart. I checked the weekly point of control, but I forgot checking the monthly naked point of control. So the weekly naked point of control of the previous week here is 72.3K. But of course, as I was hanging out with family, we also switched months. So let me have a look here. So I'm just opening Atas here. Initializing workspace. It's coming. Chart. Oh. Daily, weekly, monthly. There we go. I'm opening this on stream. Give me a minute. Not even a minute. A few seconds. Ta-da. Okay, so new monthly point of control is here at 69,500. The previous monthly point of control is at 67,100. By the way, for people that don't know, so this is Atas. This is a template, right? You can download this in Discord. So if you would be in Discord, you can go to the Good to Know channel, where there's lots of good stuff. And these are the files, right? So you can just check that out. Now what you see here is the weekly naked point of controls. Those are the yellow lines. Mind you that this is the current weekly point of control. So it's not naked, 69,125. So that's not interesting. And the current monthly point of control is 69,500, not interesting. But then you have the previous ones, right? So here you see a volume, like volume profile, I suppose. And this is your weekly naked point of control, 67,350, and your monthly naked point of control, 67,100. Oh, you have another one, Andrew? Oh, yeah. Wait, what level did you mention? 6772. Yours is higher than mine in that case. So we just put this on the chart, 67,100, which makes the support below even more interesting, actually. Let me add it here. Very nice. And then we just close it down. Yes, thank you. Okay. Short look up here. We answered that. I personally... Yo, John, how you doing, man? Good afternoon. Well, almost evening, no? In Australia. Andrew, what's up? Yeah, the zigzag with C is very, very rare and trappy. Yeah, so the moment so it's the same. Of course, like the people that hang out here on the channel will know how I keep an eye on C's versus 3s. It's just putting the 618 on the chart and just follow up, right? So we're eventually looking for a sideways 4 and a 5. So you need a wave 4 that takes a bit longer than your wave 2. It needs to be slow, relaxed, shallow, and then you get this. And it's like, okay, we're looking down again, right? So yeah, it makes life easy, of course. Such a quick move, hit the 1 or the 0.618. Christian, welcome. I personally am on the bearish scenario with diagonal in A of a zigzag, but I hesitate between a 333 and a 53535. Are you talking about a finished diagonal in the 53535? So then 535. No, that would be expanding. No? 5. Oh, you mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. 3. And then 5, 3, 5. For me, it's the 3, 3, 3 for it, like for me in my case. You have very long wave 2 here, and then if this is your 4, it would be incredibly short. Counts better as a 3 waver for me for now. What's up, Boris? Welcome. After the 12th of December. Okay, 1 more month. Yeah, I always prefer overlap in diagonals as well. Yeah, John. It makes it messy. It opens up things so much more. And then if a wave 3 in a contracting diagonal can be longer, how long? It's not mentioned. So you could be like, we're in an impulsive wave 3, extending 2.618, and then be like, now wave 4 came back to the wave 1 price section, diagonal. Like, it's such shit. It makes it a bit messy. Boris, thanks, Boris. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for saying that. Mohib, how are you? Doing good. Of course, had the half marathon yesterday that I participated in Nice. I have a couple of pictures on my Instagram story, by the way, for the ones interested. It was fun. By the way, if you do want to check out my Instagram, only go through official channels. Don't go to your Instagram app and look for koenztrading, because they're scammer accounts. Only follow the links in the description or in the Discord social media channel. But it was good, was fun. My wife and I participated in the half marathon. Last year, I did a full marathon obstacle run, 42K, 100 plus obstacles. And I've always been like in running, but for my wife, this was her first event. And she did great. Arguably, she actually did better than me, because I eventually got pain in my knee, which is something that I started with at the start of last year. And I have a very small leg difference, like you won't be able to see, but I eventually got a sole, but it didn't solve that issue. And my right knee is a weakness for me. And then, of course, last year I did the marathon obstacle run, which definitely put a lot of stress on that knee. And during the day, I won't feel it. During the day, everything works, no problem. But as I run, and also, of course, at least a little bit of preparation, or running 10K, 5K, no problem, 12K. Sometimes I run at 10K, I go to the hills here in Nice, I run 10K, 0 problems. Great pace, fast, going up and down mountains, especially down, of course, is more stress on your knee, 0 pain. And then other times I run 2-3 kilometers and it starts. And the problem is it only gets worse. So I forgot the name of what it is, but you have that knuckle on the so if you feel your right knee, right, then just below your right knee on the right side, there's like this, almost like this knuckle, like this like bony thingy, right, that you can clearly feel. It's like sticking out. It's like if you stretch your knee, you have your right tendon, right, the outside tendon, and the outside tendon, if you follow that tendon to the downside, you will hit that bony structure, right, because it's attached to the structure. So that is where it starts. And it has to do then with the muscular system moving up to your hip. But that's where the pain starts, and it starts very minimal, very slow, very soft. But I know that once it comes, it doesn't go away. It only gets worse. So, and during the marathon, like as mentioned, sometimes I run 10, 12, even longer, 15, 20, and no problem. And sometimes it starts at 2, 3, I don't know why. And yesterday was a day where it started at 2.5K. I remember checking my watch, and I saw 2.86 kilometers, and I was already running with that pain for just a very, not pain, like I started feeling it. I was like, fuck man, I still have 18. So at the end of the marathon, I was definitely struggling. But the thing is that once I sign up and I'm at the start, there's no way I'm not finishing. So I pulled through, but holy shit, the last few kilometers, eventually you're gonna run around the pain. So the pain increases, but it's going to change the way you move your leg, right? Like, because you're going to try to avoid the pain. So you're going to start running different. So now your whole running form goes out the window, right? And I can't really bend my knee too much. I can't really stretch it too much. There's like this small window where I can put my foot down, my right foot, without necessarily really having a spike of pain in my knee. And I can't really get out of that window. So it changes your whole running structure. And in the beginning, I can run normally, but eventually the pain increases and I have to change the way I run. And then the last few kilometers was ridiculous. But it's the last few kilometers. There's no way I'm finishing that shit. So yeah, I did. But I'm not going to do another one. What I'm going to do is focus a lot more on strength training, especially focusing on legs as well. Also upper body for sure. I've always been in the gym, or for years already in the gym, but I want to focus more on that knee and probably have a look at the physio to see what they say as well. Other than that, the moment I stop running, it's no problem. When I start walking, I'm good. And then I finished the run, started walking around, no problem whatsoever. Jumped in the train, went to Cannes because that was the end of the full marathon. So we wanted to see the atmosphere, check it out. When I got out of the train, I just walked. I again had knee pain. And I couldn't walk normal, so I was a little bit limping. Yeah, so how am I? I'm actually very good. Had a great weekend. Great, my brother is here with his girlfriend as well. They're leaving tonight. But this is a bit of an inside story, I suppose, of how the marathon went. And it's crazy. Like, I was running the 20, right? I was running the 20 and I was running with my wife. Because I wanted to support her, and I'm a good runner, but my knee started to fuck around, and I said, like, shit, man, like it's so sad. Like last year, I did a 42-kilometer obstacle run. I finished in 6.5 hours. So it's 100 obstacles. I'm very proud on that achievement. I've trained very hard for it, but. Last year, July, 13th of July, June, I did the 42-kilometer obstacle run in 6.5 hours. That was my finish time. While I had to walk the final few kilometers because of my knee. So I had the same issue. Still finished in 6.5 hours, 100 plus obstacles, 42K. And now here I am getting pain at 2.5K, struggling with a 20-kilometer run. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did it go wrong? Yeah. But yeah, we're going to train for it. I know the weakness, so I know what to do. I know what to focus on. So we're just going to strengthen the legs, eat more protein, get more eggs, and eggs and all the other good stuff. And then meat, capers, rice, brown rice. Ah, well. And just focus on strengthening the knees. And it, of course, starts with the muscles. Anyway, could the 15-minute time frame be a double and we are at wave? The answer is yes. However, probability suggests WXYXZ is of course very rare and never preferred. So a diagonal would be your first bet. If this is your second wave X and you still look for another wave Y, then of course you have WXYXZ, right? That's your bullish count, and then the bearish is your diagonal. But a diagonal beats a WXYXZ in probabilities. Can we have in wave A a WXY? Yes. So we can make a bigger ABC. Yes, but that would be only a flat. Wave A, I mean from 73. Yes, that's possible, but then you need only a flat, not a zigzag. So you need to move up. So if you count this as a wave A, right? Price has to retrace 90% minimum, which is 73K, to count this an A. You need to then look for a flat, which means that this move up from the low is very important, because you need to have a structure here that gets you to at least 73, right? So it you need a three-wave structure in a wave B. Oopsie daisy. In a wave B, right? You need a three-wave move. So your first move up has to be significant in order for your second move up, right? The third wave to get to 73. Bit of a challenge at the moment. Media Movil, I'm more anxious about the koenztrading tier change than about... Thanks for... Media Movil, everyone that is already a member will not experience any change. Maybe only in the value per tier, but the pricing for existing members and everything is the same. But people that are subscribed on YouTube, they probably have to move to Patreon, because the problem, this really sucks. Can't deny. This is really definitely a YouTube fuck up. But the problem is that on YouTube you cannot change. You can write in. So it's a silver membership, right? I can change the text in the silver membership tier, but I can't change pricing whatsoever. If I want to do that, then I need to kick everyone out. So you need to cancel the whole thing. Everyone that gets kicked out, and then you change it. And that makes it difficult if you want to change something or add something, if you're going to up certain values, and it's annoying. But at least the pricing for existing members always stays the same. But I still have to think more about what's going to be inside of everything. What's up, Maddie, by the way? Maddie the Betty, welcome. Lenny, Jennifer, pleasure. Wizard, what's up, bro? How you doing? Could you explain to me why and when to use logarithmic scale? Use the logarithmic scale on charts where, or on a section of a chart where price has pumped hundreds of %. So on Bitcoin, that's the weekly time frame. On the monthly time frame, you want to analyze that chart on log, because price has moved hundreds of %. Here locally, that's not the case. So here, 10% linear chart. If this would be an altcoin and this move up was 200%, you go to log. So it depends on the area of interest that you analyze. If that area of analysis has pumped hundreds of %, use log. If not, use linear. Obstacle runs are so cool. They are. For me, it's like playing outside for adults. My wife and I did, her first obstacle run was last month, was the Spartan run in Le Dramont, close to Saint-Raphaël, here in the south of France. And we did a sprint, which officially is 5K, but it's just like the shortest distance, because this one was 8K, at least based on my watch, which as per the marathon we did yesterday is actually very correct in its distance. So yeah, that was interesting. Or we maybe fucked up the route, but that was fun. I really enjoy obstacle runs. It's a great mix of endurance and strength, and it makes you more of an all-round athlete. Is it a meniscus? I've never had struggles with my meniscus though. I don't know if there's a doc here or someone that is like, specialized in knees, but happy to chat. But you have your own work, so I'm gonna go to the physio and see what they say, because what I'm looking for is how can I strengthen that area. And I mean, you kind of know already. I mean, it's just get your ass to the gym, strengthen the muscles around. But I like to know how. Like, I've been a medical student myself, and the human body for me is incredibly interesting and very nicely complex as well, which I enjoy. I've done research. I also know where trusted sources and not trusted sources, so I know a thing or two. But I still want to chat with a physio, just because maybe there's a certain exercises that they use that I don't know of, which will help me out. And then it's just about consistency and getting the work in, because in the end I just have to strengthen the muscles that are first of all connected with the bone, and also take a look at my shoes because of the small difference in legs. My right side is a little shorter than left, which therefore means your hips are slightly positioned differently, which puts a bit more tension on certain tendons and muscles. They're more stretched as they would usually be, which then can also create the irritation that you get once you start exercising that muscle. Because they're already at a capacity the whole day, and then once you start going, it can be too much, and that's where the pain then appears, of course. So yeah, I need to it's just a focus point for me. It's the 382 from my foot. This guy. It has a name as well. The pain that I have at that bone, it has a name, but I forgot the name. You're running flat, most rare. Yo, robot, are you having fun? I'm running flat, most rare. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Tim? Hoe gaat het, kerel? Hoe is het in Nederland? George, welcome. They call it live. It sometimes hurts. It sometimes hurts, but there's always something to do about it. So time for squat. Yeah, I do squats. I squat, but it's a mix of so I have a leg day for sure, and then it's of course a mix with eating enough protein as well. So I get my squats in, but great coaching from Koen on Verstappen. It was a good race yesterday. No? Tried everything. Keto and faster was the way for me. Yeah. Wait. Oh, here. IT bend syndrome. I believe that was it's a health problem that causes pain on the outside of the knee. Back when I was preparing for the marathon last year, I read a lot about ITB or IT syndrome, IT bend syndrome. Inflammation. Yeah. Oh. Hey Tim, how's your gym experience going? Yeah, there's you can do the like one leg, two leg. You have of course the slide raise. So it's the muscles around the knee. No? You can check what doctor thinks about B complex vitamins B6, B12. Yeah, food. 4-star. We can chat. Tons of experience from army long distance running as well as coach for almost 20 years. Few psychic docs to talk with who know their shit. I to B is what did me in the last 13 hours of special forces selection. Ah, so you know about it, huh? Yeah, look, of course I've never had an official confirmation, but the problem I experience definitely, and it's one-on-one with the symptoms and experience from an ITB issue, which of course then has to do with the tendon. So and partly the difference in leg. But that's I got souls for this. I went to the to the physio like I think a year ago in the Netherlands. So about like this as well, not really in depth, but we just spoke about it shortly. I need to get more in depth. But 4-star strength. Happy to get in touch and learn more. I mean, sorry to hear about your issues there. Such an annoying blessure, as we call it. So price moving up. Keep an eye on the 886. We were talking about this earlier, right? The only really bearish scenario here would be then a multi 1-2, but touch the 886. Probability is higher to take the high. We still have a daily naked point of control there as well, which is arguably your final area of resistance. Above this, there's a bit of a gap. There's not a lot happening there. Little point of control, 70.3, but wow. Oh, we do have, of course, the bullish CVDs here locally, right? We spoke about CVDs. But ja, just waiting. Fysio voor mijn knee, soort van dat. Dat is wat ik moest doen. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, Tim, I'm also in the Netherlands again, mid-November, because of a couple of presentations that I have to give. So I might just pop into the Visio there as well. Peptides, BPC. I need to copy this. Okay. Gonna post it. Okay, paste that there. Interesting. Joe Rogan and Huberman. Thanks, 100x leverage. I'm gonna do some research on these. Repair and recovery. Tendon to bone healing. And superior healing of damaged ligaments. It's the question. So look, the question is, of course, this is tendon to bone healing. The question if it's the tendon itself, or if it actually has to do with the muscle coming from the hip, where due to the small difference in legs and therefore posture, there's automatically a tension on the muscle and the tendon during the day that actually shouldn't be there. So the moment you then exercise, you're overloading the tendon, right? The tendon. Yeah, worth the research. Hips don't lie. Exactly. It's true. One of the first things, like when they check posture is they grab your hips, Put the thumbs on, like, some people have like the holes in the back, right? And then check if the hips are aligned. Posture starts with the legs, of course. You do know that Netherlands physio education is top of line. Most highly earned physio in Switzerland, for example, are Dutch trained. Interesting. I didn't know. No, I'll just pop in. Need to make an appointment there. Mohib. First of all, of course, it's not embarrassing. Not really someone that goes into alts a lot. So I have no idea also what that... I guess it's this one here. 4 hour, he says. Rectangle. No idea. So on the 4 hour, you're saying... What kind of diagonal is that starting from 5th of August? This move up here. So you always want to try and look for a contracting one, because expanding is so rare, it's just not worth it to look for expanding structures. Now, of course, this is very ugly because you do have a bump outside of the trend line here. So, of course, this would be a contracting diagonal where all of the waves are the 3 waves, 3 correction, 3 correction, and then the final leg up here. Final leg up. Pun intended. No pun intended. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this being 5 is ridiculous. So you definitely want to have this end as your 1, 2, but then this is a lower low, so you need to hide it. Yeah, that would be the only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where if you are looking for a diagonal, this would be the best shot, really. Where you then have, and this is of course just looking at the chart. I'm not doing any in-depth analysis, didn't pull a fib, just structure, pure structure. Because if you would have this as your 1 and this as your 2, wave 2 and wave 4 have to be zigzag structure, so you can't have a flat in 2, right? So you need 1, 2, 3, 4. This needs to be 5, but 5 is way too long. So that means you're automatically going to 1, 2, but you can't have this as 3, 4, 5 because 3 is below 1, which therefore means 1, 2, 3, right? But you can't have this as 3 and then this as 4 and this as 5. So basically, therefore, it's 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That if you're looking for a diagonal, that would be your only option. Abid Hashmini, welcome. Hashmi, sorry. Abid Hashmi, welcome. Welcome. According Alexdar technique, start from head. Maybe also, yeah, I'll email you. Here we can chat. All good, life's fine. Cool. Yeah, sure. Let's get in touch. 4-star strength. Interesting. To learn more, and also like people that had similar experience and managed to fix ITB or symptoms related to ITB or look like ITB. So with the knee, of course. I think you're right, because the imbalance causes the pain in the knee. Yes, balance. So when I trained for the 42-kilometer obstacle run last year, what I did is at the very, very beginning, I immediately just tried to run a marathon from the start of my I've always been a runner, so I don't start at full zero. And I just want to see what are my weaknesses. And I figured that my knee was one. That was one of the things that came when I was practicing. And then I focus on exercises for the knee as well, which is a lot of crab-related exercises. And to train I think it's the gluteus medialis in Latin. So from the hip going down, and every like the crab movement you do with your knee, if you're laying on your side or if you're standing up and you put a resistance band around your knees and you know, you can't show it on the cam, but and you then walk sideways, right? Those are really good exercises for balance, strengthening that muscle, and in the end, good for balance. Yes. So yeah, that I did those a lot, but I think, I mean, hindsight is the easiest thing, of course, as we always say in trading, but also with live. I guess arguably should have even focused more on the legs, and my upper body strength was actually good for the obstacle run. So out of the 100 plus obstacles, I failed one, which was very, very challenging. It was after 20 kilometers, and they had a ring exercise where you grab the first ring and then you go down on the rings, and then the lowest ring you had to move your knees and your legs up, because else you're touching the ground, and that's of course not allowed. So it's a lot of core, which is no problem. So you go down, 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 and then not hanging straight, but then get the knees and the legs up, but then you had to go back up. So you're at the lower ring, and then you need to get the higher ring, the higher ring. That's the one I failed because I couldn't get to the third higher ring. And analyzing that exercise, what I also think I could have done better there is sideways movement. So instead of trying to use full force against gravity, trying to pull myself up on one arm, which of course is very challenging, having a bit of a wiggle, moving left and right, gives you a bit of momentum to reach higher. So usually in obstacle runs, when you actually have exercises where you grab stuff above you, right, and you're moving forward, you're trying to use momentum in your favor, right? So if there's rings in a straight line or other bars or things, you tend to either move sideways, so you just like go left and right and makes it easy, or you get the momentum forward like monkey bars. But there I was stationary because I was all the way at the bottom, and I didn't have any movement, any momentum, any whatever, and I just couldn't get myself up. That's the one I failed. Can you AGLD? No need for deep one. What's up, JL? I mean, I guess we're talking alts. $886 is touched from the high to the low, increasing probabilities to take out the high, decreasing probabilities for impulsive bearish continuation in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta say it's that I would only focus on the local price section. Yeah, I wouldn't really use this whole structure up because of course it looks very three wavy so far. Question. I think this is not possible. 5 is longer than 3. 5 is also longer than 1. So yeah, I very much take this. I would just zoom into lower time frame and be like, well, price hit the 886, taken from the high to the low, increasing probabilities to take out the high. and that's that. And then once you take the high, just wait and see what's next. Any move to the downside here has a higher probability of being corrective in a C or a Y. Even if you take the lows, you look for C or Y, but you're still looking up. So the bias is bullish, and then yeah, based on the bias, interesting positions can be checked. What's up, Dawa? Welcome, Katruk Victor, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to hear that as well. Teaching is one of the things I like to hear the most about. Like, you know, it's an important goal of the channel. You need a good quality of walking or running shoes. I have Brooks, but of course everyone's feed, you know, like everyone's thingy is different. Previously I had Nike, so so for the obstacle run, 42K last year, I used my Nikes. And there I had my, you know, once I started practicing, I of course had the issue with my knee, and now I have Brooks. It's the same thing. So yeah, don't know if there's a shoe that would specifically help me, but it's just like looking for a mix of things. Maybe a shoe, get a physio, specific training. First physical and then good strength training, but it is common for runners to have problems in a specific area of the knee. But don't worry, everything will be physio first. Yeah, absolutely. I also, like, on a daily basis, I don't feel it. I have zero problems. Like I can do everything, but once I go into longer distance, it starts to struggle. Yeah. Have you look at the knee over toes guy? Freaking amazing workouts to get super knees. I do not actually. Knees over toes guy. YouTube. Okay, the knees over toes guy. Wow. 1.7 million subscribers. What a guy. That's insane. 1.7 milli. Jeez. Knee ability. Okay. Oh, wow. There's definitely some interesting some interesting videos here to watch. Yeah. Thanks, Dao. Yo, awesome. Knee ability. That's really good. I'm gonna check that out. Yo, cheers, 4-star strength. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for your email. Sarah, welcome. Enjoying the stream. JL, good to have you here, man. Welcome. With XRP, with. It's not really an altcoin stream, but move down. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Definitely a potential for an impulse here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. In that case, common target area is your wave 2, because you're looking for the bullish scenario is of course 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So your common target area is the 05 to the 786. That is your main area of interest. To look for signs of strength that match with the bias. Volume still declining as price is moving down. As dramatic as this move down looks, it's actually on lower volume than previously. So this is your bullish scenario. And locally, if this is bearish, you need an impulsive move down, which then has to be a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is a diagonal, we take this and this and this. So 4 is shorter there. We do this and this and this. 4 is still shorter. So there's at least the potential. Contracting diagonal, 5 has to be shorter than your 3, which is also the case. So yeah, definitely potential at least for a diagonal here. 3-wave structure, that would be your B in a bullish scenario. And then 1, 2, 3, sideways 4, 5, probably still looking for another drop. So far these ranges here are all quite short. This one is relatively long, so preferably 1, 2, and then 4, 5. Yeah, If this, of course, is very bearish, your bearish scenario is an impulsive structure to the downside. So, of course, bullish would be A, B, C. All right, so A, B, and then a wave C to the downside. That's bullish. Bearish would be 1, 2, and then a 3. 3 most commonly extends. Of course, even more bearish would be a 1, 2, 1, 2 down. But I would definitely keep an eye on the potential ABC. And the moment an ABC gets better probabilities, it becomes very, very interesting, of course. And I'll look for signs of strength and support. Point of control at 158. Golden pocket is probably in line with some volume levels here. Value area high. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna do stuff in detail. Hey, that's for altcoin streams. This is just messing around. So yeah, on XRP. I mean, XRP is like forever altcoin now. Nothing happens. So XRP. So currently monthly time frame 4, looking for 5, which is bullish. Here you have the bigger triangle, A, B, C, D, and then E. Of course, we're then looking for bullish continuation. Alternatively here, A, B, C, D, E. You do want to see this high taken though, for a D. So yeah, that's basically, and bearish scenario would be actually the following here, right? So A, B, C, D, E, and then you go down. I mean, it's triangles, either up, either down. It's like it's XRP is honestly is pure shit. Like there's makes no sense counting all of this in detail, right? The only thing you can see on a high time frame is that the probabilities are higher, that this is corrective, increasing probabilities on a monthly time frame to still look for all-time highs at the later stage, unrelated to all this local mess. The local mess is not, it's just not worth your time. If you have to, like, you want to find alts that like make sense from a time versus money perspective, right? You don't want to, like some alts, like we open the chart, we check it. Okay, potential for an impulse here. Look for the move down, potential ABC. If an ABC gets more confirmed, interesting to look for longs and go. XRP on the lower time frame is just bullshit. So doesn't make any sense to check that out in detail. It's so messy, so sideways. Probably if I go to the 1 hour, there's probably I can make sense of it, but it's just not worth the time. But you're still looking for price to move up anyway on XRP, as the probabilities are higher on a high time frame. It's corrective price action, so unrelated to all the local movements. Litecoin, wow, I think it's been a while since we were here. Yeah, these are my old callers, old analysis stuff. These are all my old fibs and old caller stuff. This is the 1, 2 most bullish. A, B, C, D, E. Also, what was this? Probably. Like all-time high, price moves to the downside. This is the same. I'm not going to go in detail here. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time. It's not like interesting at all. It's more interesting. Can you get an impulse out of this? 1, 2. This needs to be 3, 4, 5. So it doesn't look like it. Looks more corrective. 05 is touched. 618 is not touched. But then this needs to be a wave 3, which means you need to be able to count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. Now, if this is your 2, you can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is your 2 here, you need a 3, 4, 5, but we never got that. So therefore, one has to consider this to be a corrective structure down, which makes this whole thing corrective down and increases probabilities to still take out the high. Also, very messy move here to the upside. If this would be impulsive, all the overlap, right? All the overlap here, overlap. It's just, it's so not worth it. There's so many better coins than this stuff here. Clear. This is a good impulsive move up. So far, a three wave move down. Higher probabilities it is. 3-wavy. So unless this is your wave 4, but then your wave 4 is shorter in time than your 2, which is lower probabilities for that to happen. Like this range here would be your 4 compared to a bigger 2. So yeah, higher probabilities it's corrective, higher probabilities to still look up. So where you see this chart that shows from beginning, you just gotta check on like if you look for a chart, just click a couple of charts. So of course if you go to Bitcoin it's the same, right? So some charts here will have a lot of history and some very little. You just need to search a little bit for it. No idea what this is. Okay, so cost at support. Bearish scenario. Now, of course, in this case, you're looking for a much bigger retracement than the small thing you had so far. Bullish, preferably we still go down a little bit further, actually. And then, yeah, and then what? Depends on the move down, no? So preferably actually on Kaspa you still go down. That would be nicer. Ooh, very long sideways range, this here, which increases probabilities for a B compared to a wave 2. Wave 2s tend to be shorter. If you get such a sharp move and then a sideways range this big, would generally be higher probabilities for a B, which leads to A, B, and then C price action. So the potential for your 1, 2, 1, 2, and then your 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, finishing A, B, C, looking for then a potential 4. Is this correct still? Wait, my phone just went. Oh no. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 3 can also be moved here, either or. And if we move it up here, we did at least hit the 3 or 2. So there is the potential here for your 4 minimum target to be hit, because your 3 could also move here, as you can then count a 1, 2. Sorry. 1, yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in this case, you then move this up a little. Doesn't really make a big difference, but at least your minimum target is hit. So for the time being, let's just use this. And then locally, one needs to wait for a sign of strength, because at the moment there's absolutely zero going on. Price just moving down. Bearish market structure, no bullish change, no big sideways ranges after this one here. Price took out the low. Potential for your A, B, C. Yes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Maybe another 5 down, but you definitely want to see price then move back. So of course now interesting as well is taking a fib from the high to the low. If we are in wave 3 price action, which it doesn't look like because it's way too rangy for 3s, but keep the 618 on the chart, invalidation for 4. Also, of course, if this is a 1, if you're looking for 1, 2, and 3, then yeah, that's also an invalidation. The problem is it doesn't really look too bearish because of how slow this move down is. If this is 1, 2, you want to see 1, 2, and a big move. So far it's slow. So your bearish scenario arguably would be 1, 2, 1, 2, and your bullish scenario is then your A, B, and then or A, B, C, 3-wave structure, A, B, C, and then you move up. In both cases, you just start to look for signs of strength and a bit of a bounce on the 1 sec. Dower, lol. Why CME and Bitcoin USDT price not the same? I don't know. I don't do anything with CME. There's a difference in price between. I don't even know the ticker. What's BTC CME? Is that BTC1? Was it? Oh, here. 69,100. And what's my price here? 68,800. It's a small difference, but you know, every chart that you click will have slightly different values. Sometimes big, sometimes small. Difference between spot and futures can be big at times as well. Can be sometimes hundreds of dollars. And currently with CME, there is a difference in hundreds of dollars, but I don't see a reason to use CME in a market that's alive 24/7. You're leaving out information that is very relevant from an Elliott wave point of view with CME. Of course, the gaps can be interesting if people trade gaps and stuff, but that's as useful as CME is, really. Come Spain for kayaking, no need to go to the sea or rivers, the rain doesn't stop. Yeah, I saw videos and stuff about the drama there. Insane. Everyone from Spain, I hope you're safe and good, because holy shit, that's so out of nowhere. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, YouTube him. He's even okayed by a professor in sports science I follow. Okay, positive. ARKM. Yo, Jeroen. It's also time for me to slowly wrap things up now. Continue with the day. What's this? Yeah, so you can't use all of this. Diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be your bet here. Seems like my brother and her and his girlfriend just came back. So yeah, it's a good moment to wrap things up. But here, RKM, you have a high volume red candle here in this local move down, after which you then got this bounce. So you can't really move into 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 now. So the probabilities are better for this to be a 3-wave corrective structure. right? Sharp, sideways, sharp, 3-wave correction. Of course, you can still have like a WX and a Y, or bigger X, WX. What is this? We swing failure to high here. But of course, bigger three wavers are fine, but the probability suggests taking out this high. And therefore, and then you just look for areas of support to the downside, signs of strength that could move price in favor with taking that out. So, okay, everyone. Max, how you doing? Welcome from the Southern Hemisphere, man. Hopefully you're good in Cape Town. Summer period is starting. Blue skies, sunshine. Hopefully you're good. Okay, everyone, it's time for me to go. Thanks for hanging out. Also, thanks, guys, for proposing or mentioning a couple of people that talk about knees online, and thanks for some of your advice as well. I'm gonna have a look into it and talk to you about it. No, so thanks for being here. There probably won't be another update today because my brother and his girlfriend, they're here for the remainder of the day, leave tonight, maybe tonight. If anything crazy happens, I might pop on the stream tonight, late tonight, but we'll see. At least tomorrow morning will be a new update, so that's guaranteed, right? So let's see where price is. But thanks for hanging out. And I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be interesting, right? So tomorrow I'm going to be live streaming for sure. I'll be live in the afternoon, / when there is volatility. If it's before the afternoon, I might just be live earlier to try and catch some of the volatile moves that we could have on that interesting day. Probably a lot of chat and Q&A. I can imagine it's going to be a bit of a longer live stream as well. A lot more chilling, Q&A, watching the chart, checking for volatility, that sort of stuff. But I don't yet, usually I go live in the afternoon. So that's the expectation. We'll see what price does. But thanks for being here, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow again.